Okay, Suitless is kind of a long stretch, but it's relatively straightforward, so it shouldn't be too difficult. To start off, you don't have all your upgrades. You are left with a pistol according to your status screen, but you have a few other things that you shouldn't have. You're jumping higher than normal. You're not jumping quite as high as high jump, but you're jumping higher than a non-high jump. So it's sort of in between normal and high jump. You still have power grip. You can still wall jump. You cannot morph, but you can crouch. You can crawl in places where that's necessary. You can still aim diagonally. Your shots count. Your shots does not kill pirates, but they stun them, only if fully charged. The gun charges on its own, you don't have to hold anything. Normal tiny shots do nothing against enemies. The only enemies you're gonna encounter as Suitless is pirates. Fully charged pirate gets stunned, which means they can't see you for the purpose of alarms. And you can also run straight through them and they stop moving, which is useful. Your gun also counts as a bomb. It's a bit odd, but you can break bomb blocks with your gun now, as well as normal beam breakable blocks. So that's about it, about the differences. You can still spin jump as normal as well. Starting at just run to the left, there's nothing interesting in this room. This room you can either wall jump up here, or you can power grip up here. It doesn't really, you can do power grip to wall jump. Although all of these are like, doesn't matter. So it's just do whatever. Then just fall down. Maybe spin there. I don't think it should matter, but you might hit your head at certain subpixels. Like it's fairly close. I don't think you can hit that, but so you can just keep running. Maybe spin if you want to, whatever. Keep running all the way, or keep crawling over here. One thing I want to mention about these tunnels is canceling your crouch. So when we get over here, you get into a crouching state as soon as you exit the tunnel. If you just keep holding the direction, she'll eventually stand up. But this takes a couple of frames, like 6-7 frames-ish. It is faster to stand up manually and keep running. Like just press up as soon as you get into crouch. It's sort of hard to actually make this be faster than just holding left, but it is faster if you can time it well. In a few places it's important, in most places it's just like a tiny frame saver. So keep it in mind or don't. It's not that big of a deal, but it's something you can save time on. I usually try to do it. On this fall, you absolutely want to spin, because you do hit your head. You'll hit your head every time, like and you hit here and you stop. So you want to start spinning as soon as you leave the ground. To not hit anything. Don't go up here, it's pointless, there's nothing here, you can't open the door. Shoot these blocks. Try to hit them both while running diagonally. If possible. If you can't, you can just crouch and shoot both of them, it's whatever. I think you can, yeah, if you shoot too late, you won't hit either. So you can just, I think. Yeah, you'll hit neither. So like try to hit both. If you only hit the first one, that's whatever. You can hit the second one while falling, but try to hit both. It's not that hard. Just shoot 2 shots diagonally while running. Keep going, silly cutscenes. You should wall jump up here. It's like for frames sake. You could also just ledge grab, it's whatever, but wall jumping should be a few frames faster because you skip this tiny running section. You can just wall jump up to the tunnel straight away. Like if you ledge grab, you have to accelerate. You have to run with like low speed since you're still accelerating to this edge, and it's just frames, but wall jumping should be preferable, or ledge hopping should also work. Ledge grabbing should, like, avoid ledge grabbing. That's it, and try to land like right in front of the tunnel. Try not to run at all after landing. Cancel your crouch with up, and you'll immediately start to aim up. I used to think I had to jump here in order to aim upwards. You do not. You just press up, and you can shoot the thing. Jump up here. Try to not grab this map. This has a much bigger hitbox than it looks like. Like it grabs you from way over here. So jump early, but don't jump too early. If you can hit this wall, and if you hit that wall, you're still gonna get grabbed, or you're still gonna grab the map. So like, make sure to not jump too high. It's sort of annoying to avoid, but it's not too bad. It costs a few seconds to grab the map. It costs like a fair amount more seconds of real time. Like anytime this time in the map where it actually does not cost in-game time, it only costs real time. But Samus standing here in the map station does take in-game time, so keep that in mind. Just try to jump over it. It takes a while to get used to, but eventually it's second nature. Again, jumping too high will hit this, and you'll fall down into the thing. You might be able to jump extend now. If you hit that thing, like, you're done pretty much. So don't do that. Jump like around this thing in the background. If you keep walking here, you're gonna get grabbed. If you jump here, you're fine. Just do like, you can do a pretty tiny, like, mid-sized jump, I think, to get past it. It'll make sense after a while. Just like whatever. You can take this refill if you feel unsure about Suitless in general. It's not necessary. We don't need to take damage anywhere. So if you're confident you can get through Suitless without getting hit anywhere, you don't have to take the refill at all. It's a bit of a safe measure though. It takes like about 8 seconds to refill. I think it was about 8 seconds. With 2 or 3 inch tanks, somewhere around there. You save back a bit of that at the so-called Charlie fight, the Josie Ghost fight, where we can do some damage boost stuff to save time. So it takes like more like 6 seconds or something, 6 or 7 seconds to refill. It is fast. Like if you feel confident you don't get hit, it's fast to not refill. If you don't feel confident, just grab it. Anything the pirates do, touching the pirates or getting hit by pirate shots will instantly kill you if you do not heal. It does 100 damage and you do not have enough health to survive that. Getting hit by eyes, there are like eyes on the wall that shoot you. You can survive like 2 shots from those, but nothing from the pirates. It is pretty consistent. Like there's no reason for you to really take damage from a pirate if you do the area correctly. But still, if you want to feel safe, grab a refill. I'll grab a refill now just to be able to show off damage boost strats later on. But you do not need to. You can't reach this ledge from the ground, but you can reach it from the save platform. So try to jump from the save platform up here to save a ledge grab. Like the edge of the save platform should make it up. That works even if you do save, but it's a bit tougher to time because you also need to build speed. It's nothing big. This room is sort of complicated. One of like 3 sort of complicated rooms in Suitless. What you want to happen is for the alarm to run out pretty much when you get here, like just in time for you to get to this door like I just did. I need to talk a tiny bit about how alarms work first and foremost. The alarm starts whenever a pirate sees you. Either a pirate or some kind of sensor. There are various sensors throughout Suitless, or throughout Chilsodia in general, that can spot you. They'll spot you when you have your suit back as well, but it's not a big deal then. They'll start whenever a pirate sees you. Pirates have eyes in their back. They can see you even if you're behind them. They cannot see you while turning around. So I'll see if I can get this. There's a way to avoid getting spotted by this pirate. Hang on. I missed it. Yeah, it's hard. I'll get it once though. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty decent at this. You can avoid getting spotted because they can't see you while turning. So in their turnaround animation, they're blind completely. That's rarely useful, but it's good to know if it happens, and if it happens anyway. Once a pirate sees you, a timer starts running. Once that timer stops, the alarm stops. But it can't stop. Like it sort of depends. I think it can in this room, but in a lot of rooms the timer cannot stop in the same room where it started. Yeah, it can in this room for some reason. I don't know. It's a weird thing. In most rooms, if you activate the alarm, you cannot stop the alarm in the same room by just like not being seen for a while. But the timer starts. The timer is around 8 seconds. It's 480 frames. It's about 8 seconds. So if you manage to like not be seen by a pirate for 8 seconds straight, the alarm will shut off. The alarm can also shut off by killing every pirate in the room. That's not really relevant for Suitless, but it's relevant later on. And the alarm also shuts off if you enter a room where the alarm technically can't run. So, which is in most cases a safe room, but it has a few other cases as well, I think. There is one room in specific that's important for this. So running into a room where the alarm isn't allowed to be running will instantly shut it off, and if you run out of the room again, the alarm will be off. In this first room though, like I showed, you can avoid being detected by this first pirate, but it's really precise and requires the pirate to cooperate in order for it to actually be faster. So the easiest method, the most usually fastest method, is you just fall down and get caught. You don't have to freeze this guy. It helps to freeze him, but it's not necessary. I like to freeze him anyway. You don't have to. You can like jump up here and be fine anyway. Because he's a moron. If he can't see you, if you're fast enough, he's a moron. But I like freezing him anyway for a bit of extra time. The pirate up here, that works a little different depending on what you do. Pirates, once the alarm is active, pirates don't have any RNG about them. They act according to Samus's position and movement and actions, completely deterministically. They don't do anything random after the alarm is activated. Before the alarm is activated, they do this idle animation where they like turn around from time and time again. That timing is sort of random. But once the alarm is activated, nothing about the pirates are random, nothing about their movement is random. They always do the exact same thing if you do the exact same thing. This is very useful for handling alarm situations. So the thing that's interesting here is that this pirate will not start moving until you go above a certain height. So if I just ledge grab up here, he'll still be standing on the left. If I do a wall jump up there, if I like try to do a height wall jump up here, he'll have moved to the right already. This is useful and not useful. It depends on what you're going to do. You have to handle the two situations of him being on the left and being on the right differently. If he's on the right, you can do what I did earlier. I want him to be on the right. If he's on the right, you can wall jump up here. Make sure to make that a really tiny wall jump, or else he'll see you above the edge. But if you hang on that ledge and then wait, he'll run past you. Or you can wait down here too. You can wait down on the ground for him to run. But once he jumps off the left platform, you can wait here and see. Once he jumps off the platform to the left, you can jump up and start running here, and you'll get to the gate just in time for it to disappear. So you can either stay on the bottom and wait, or you can do this jump onto this ledge and wait. He won't see you while you're hanging. But again, you have to do sort of a short wall jump for that to work. If you jump too high, he'll see you. I'll try to see if I can make it too high. It's kind of hard to move. There we go. He should have seen me. That should have been too high. So I'm gonna have to wait at this door now. See. So make that wall jump kind of short, if you want to do that. If he's on the left, which again, if you do a ledge grab, he's going to be on the left every time. You can either aim diagonally up, jump and shoot him, barely, and then jump up. It's sort of hard to hit. It's not terribly hard to hit, but it's sort of hard. It's not super easy. But it's very doable. You might get seen though, or whatever. Another way to do this is to go over here, and once you're over here, you can do a tiny jump, and that'll get him moving to the right. And after that, you can shoot vertically, which is a much easier shot to make. So you can do a tiny jump and then shoot. He'll be mid-jump. He still won't be able to see you if you're fast enough. I guess he saw me this time. Like if you do this quickly enough, he won't see you. It takes a bit longer. Like this, it seems like this is slower, but the main thing is that I'm in this room for a shorter amount of time doing this. Like the alarm has been running since the first pirate saw me. And if I freeze him like that, it's faster than waiting for him to jump off the platform. So I mean, I still have to wait for the alarm to run off, so it's not actually faster anywhere. I just make it to... that's really bad. You don't want that to happen. Like the alarm's still on a timer, so even if I'm faster through that room, this gate isn't gonna open until I'm here. So it's so even though freezing him on the left is technically faster, you're still gonna have to wait for this like gate, even if you do the slower spread. So I mean, it doesn't really matter. However, there are two ways through this room. One of them I've shown several times now is shooting this. I'll show that that's actually a floor. This is like there are blocks there that are breakable, so you have to shoot them. So shoot the blocks. Just shoot like diagonally up as soon as you enter the room and you hit them every time. Then do either a wall jump or a ledge grab up here, and you're fine. You can also crawl under here. Which is if you do the slower run through this room. I'm not even doing it right. If you do this slower route, it's gonna like you're not gonna get to the gate fast enough, because going the top route here is faster than crawling. So you won't actually make it to the gate. So in my opinion, like this, people do this differently, but in my opinion, the easiest way to do this is to ledge grab up here, tiny jump, shoot straight up, wall jump. Don't be horrible at life. Like if you fail the wall jump, you can just shoot him again. I can't wall jump. I'm bad, I'm sorry. So do that. And then you're free to crawl under here, because since you were faster in the last room, this gate won't have time to open yet. So you don't have to do... Not like jumping up here is very hard, but you don't have to do it, so... I mean, it is harder than just holding right. But technically, whatever you do here, as long as you make it to the gate before it opens, will be equally fast. Every time, so... Do whatever, either of those I showed work fine. This room is sort of hard to do. You can do this room without getting caught. It's sort of difficult. I'll show that off first. So if you don't want to get caught, you can't, like these tripwires will trigger later on, so you can't run through there. What you want to do is jump up here and wall jump up here. For whatever reason, this wall jump is way harder than it looked. I do not know why. I fail this more often than I should. Other people fail this more often than they should. It doesn't make sense. There's nothing technically about this wall jump that is hard. But for some reason, people fail this wall jump. I don't know why. If it starts happening to you, don't worry. It happens to people. I really don't understand what's happening with this wall jump. There's nothing wrong with it, but people miss it anyway. So wall jump here, get up on this part, start running to the right. Jump, wall jump, oops. Jump, wall jump, run. What we want to do, like on the bottom here is a large tripwire. We don't want to trigger this. So if we go all the way to the right, then shoot the floor we're on, like shoot on the right, will destroy the floor. Then we're gonna try to wall jump on the right wall. It's a bit tricky. Like that. So there's nothing really special about this. Make sure to start spinning as soon as you leave, like as soon as you start falling for more distance. And then just try to wall jump before reaching the tripwire. There's about a 5-frame window for the wall jump in order to make it up here. But it's a bit tricky. You can make it slightly easier, sort of, depends on like what you like doing, by doing jump extend. So once you shoot the floor, you press jump, then shoot, then jump again in like as fast as you can. Preferably without screwing up. This gives you a bit of additional height. Because again, if I do this in frame advance, you see how Samus is like inside the ceiling, and I can't move. I'm holding right now. I can't move right until I'm out of the ceiling. If I do a jump extend, like if I start spinning and then shoot, she gets pushed out of the ceiling. This means I start falling. Like I have a lower falling velocity right now, so I can go further to the right before reaching the tripwire. Oops. So if I I'm gonna get there at about this height-ish, like above the square thing. If I just spin, I'm gonna get there slightly lower, like a block lower, sort of. This is when done perfectly, though, but you're probably not gonna do that perfectly. But I think personally this makes this trick much easier. Some people don't agree with me, but it's all preference. Try, like, if you're having trouble with the trick, try doing the jump extend and see if that helps. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. It's in theory a few frames faster because you will reach the wall at a higher point, so this jump up the wall can be shorter, but I don't think that that's actually gonna matter to anyone. It's not slower though, which is the important part. It's in theory a few frames faster, but that's not going to happen, pretty much. You're more likely to not have to grab that ledge. If I can do that at all. Like, you're more likely to make this jump up here without grabbing this ledge. That would save time. But otherwise, they're practically equal in terms of time. So if you can do that, that's good. That's the fastest way. In this room, just wall jump up this wall, shoot this block, get in here. Remember that there are crumble blocks here, so you have to do a tiny jump. So do a tiny jump, wall jump up all of this, and into this door. And from here on we continue like normal. If you have trouble doing this, if you think this is too hard for you, if you feel that you can't do this and aren't willing, like if you either aren't willing to learn it, or if you're in a situation where learning it isn't helpful, like you have a race the next day and you don't have time to learn this or whatever, an easier strategy that's only slightly slower, it's only about a second or two slower, is to just trigger the alarm right away, like trigger the alarm right here and break these blocks. This means you don't have to crawl all of this distance. So even though you're wasting a lot of time later, you're saving time in this room because that crawling is pretty slow. In this still ends up being slower overall, but not nearly as slow as it should be. The only difference is that in this room we wait until this pirate enters the screen, pretty much. No, yes, sort of. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you can hit this wall, like, there are a few different ways to speed this up, but the simplest thing is just to do this. Don't fall down. Falling down is bad. I don't even know what to do now. So if you fall down, you're gonna have to freeze this guy a couple of times, and then run once the alarm shuts off. But you shouldn't fall down. Falling down is bad. If you don't fall down, you can wait until the pirate is about at your level. Like, either as soon as you enter the screen, you can start running. The alarm won't shut off until you're in the other room, so the gate will still be closed when you enter the room, but it'll open after like a second. Or you can wait for him. You can wait for him to reach about your level, about at this height. If you start running, the alarm will shut off right before you enter the door, and the gate will be open. Doing either of these only takes it's only about a second or two slower than getting the skip. It is a lot faster than failing the skip. If you try for a skip and fail it, this is several seconds faster. Like, if you wait for him to just be on the screen, you can run, and like you wait here for a second, but the gate will open. Either of these are fine. But essentially, you want to learn this. It's not terribly hard, but it's pretty hard. It's hard to perfectly explain. Like, you'd want to learn this, though. It's a few seconds. Another thing to keep in mind if you really want to optimize this more is to try to open this door as early as possible. Whoops, my movement is off. Try to open this door as early as possible, and then shoot this pirate before climbing up here. And then again, wait for him to just show up on screen, or wait for the alarm to show up, I guess. I thought it would show up. I guess I was wrong. So just wait for the alarm to shut off. It's a bit, you don't really have a cue for when the alarm is gonna shut off, so it's a bit harder to time it. But doing this, the alarm shuts off faster because he's not seeing you. Like if you don't shoot him, he's seeing you while running all of this. He doesn't stop seeing you until you start jumping. So you're gonna have to wait longer here. But again, the fastest way is to just do tripwire skip. This is known as tripwire skip, by the way. If anyone ever talks about this, or if you want to talk about this to a runner. It's not guaranteed even with the jump extend. Failing it is pretty bad. Like going all this way and still failing it loses quite a bit of time. Like maybe 5-6 seconds. Oops. No matter what you do, you're gonna end up in this room. Once in this room, you shoot this wall. This wall is breakable, so like don't try to jump over it. Anything to shoot. Keep going to the left. This jump is weird. I'll see if I can make it happen now. If you do a spin jump like this, there is a 50% chance, depending on the doors. Like I'm doing full jumps, all of these. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. There's a 50% chance because of how transitions work that your jump won't make it up here. It's a weird property of transitions. Just like it's a 50-50 chance. However, if you do a straight jump, you are always going to make it up there every time, because you're tricking. Because of Samus's hitbox being larger, you're triggering the transition earlier, so you have more momentum left in your jump once you enter this room. You can do this either by stopping and jumping straight up and turning around mid-air, or you can turn around before you jump, or you can do a spin jump and like unspin, press up during your spin jump. It's a bit more technical, but it's like it saves frames. I'm having you jump earlier. Either of these are fine, like whatever you want to do. Make sure to be in a straight jump position before you enter the transition. Again, keep in mind that you want to cancel all these crouches by pressing up. Maybe, I mean, that depends. It's possible to cancel all these crouches to save time. There's a hidden path here. This looks really wonky. I never actually stopped here, so it's super wonky being here. You have to shoot a block. You can't just jump up here. There's a block in the way. The fastest way to do this is to walk over to this wall, shoot straight up, and then wall jump a few times. As long as you, I think you only need to do one wall jump properly, yeah. If you just shoot from the ground, it doesn't hit. Because the shot despawns before it reaches the block. But if you do a single wall jump, or maybe even a single jump, yeah, as long as you jump, it's gonna hit. So just shoot straight up and start wall jumping. It's about 3 wall jumps to get up here. And then let's grab, fall down, start holding left, land. If you hold left, you're gonna land on this crumble block, barely. After falling down this crumble block, shoot straight down, hit this floor, and then diagonal and diagonal to hit all of these. You want to get down here. Oops. Again, this is your beam acting as a bomb for some reason. These are all bomb blocks. I don't know why they chose to do that. There are 2 pirates down here. We don't want them to see you, so there are a few ways to get through that. slowest one is just wall jump here. It's not recommended. It's pretty slow and useless. You can do if you space it well, like you can just fall down and ledge grab this if you want to. If you turn your jump around, like if your spacing is very precise with this, you can land on the platform straight away. This is hard to do though. It's like super tight. You have to like turn around and wait for like a split second and then start spinning. It's hard to get correctly. But that should be the fastest. If you can get that, it should be fastest. An easier way is to just turn around immediately and like actually hit this wall. The point of this other thing is you want to avoid hitting this extension. Just to preserve your momentum. But you can, if you hit that, you can just like jump extend. So this should be the most consistent. The fastest strat that's still pretty consistent should be just do a jump extend there. Just turn around, jump extend, keep running. Might as well mention this. It hasn't. Don't think it's been relevant before, but if you shoot while she's like starting to crouch to get into this animation, you'll shoot without stopping. Because like once, like if you shoot right when you hit, like right here, you'll shoot during this crouch animation, which doesn't cost you any time at all. It's the same when reaching the end. Like when she goes up into her crouch, you can shoot without wasting time at all. These are the two moments where it's free. You'll still shoot at like a crouching height, which is useful. If you try shooting while here, she'll stop, which is bad. It's cost frames. You can also wait until you're out of the tunnel and start running again for free shots. It's more relevant later on, but right now it's good to keep in mind. Like that is possible. I didn't get the crouch cancel. This room is, I should not say it, this room is nothing special. You just fall down. You can't get through any of these. So you just fall down here and go into this room. This room, however, is pretty special. So this room is interesting. There's a few different ways to get through this room. This for a long time was the only real choice, where you choose between in-game time or real time. We've since found a strat that optimizes both, so it's a bit harder, but that's what you should be doing if you can. It is a bit harder, so not a lot of people have incorporated it into their game yet. If you're saving in-game time, if you're like prioritizing in-game time, I'll do the two easier strats first. One for in-game time, one for real time, and then I'll show the harder strat that uses that saves both. That is, like, it's the fastest for both categories. But if you're saving in-game time, you want to go into this door and turn around and get back in. This is to reset the spotlights, because the problem is this spotlight is in the way. This top spotlight goes right by the door, and it's a huge jerk face. And again, for a while there was no real way to get past that. We found recently though. I'll guess the RTA strat makes more sense to show first, so I'll show that first. The RTA strat is just to wait here. Like, just stand on that platform and wait until you can jump up. Stand here and wait for like 2 seconds, and oops. And then you time that better than I did. Then just go through. waiting there is still clearly faster than getting caught, so waiting is preferable. If you're saving in-game time though, you can go into this door and go up this way. This is faster for in-game time but slower for RTA because we're adding two door transitions. So what you want to do is wall jump up here is one way to do it. I'll show another way as well. But you can wall jump up here, go into this door, turn around and mash shot like crazy. Now you look at the charge, like the pistol charge. Once this charge meter reaches like this part of the energy tank, you can start running, because you need to delay a bit. Here, if you just start running immediately, you'll jump into the spotlight, so you need to wait a tiny bit. I mean, you can do that by eye if you want to, but it's sort of hard to see when it's good. You can look at the shot meter and be fine. At least that's my cue, and that depends on my reaction times and my movements and stuff. You might want to find your own. You might want to wait a bit longer or a bit shorter, whatever. But you can use the recharge for the shot as your cue. I found that to be really useful. Get back up here. So that's the fastest in-game time. What you can also do, instead of wall jumping up here, there is a faster way to get up here that is really, really hard. It's really, really tight. You do like that. And like that doesn't look that hard, but if you're like even slightly slow, this spotlight sees you, so you need to be almost perfect. This is a really small window to get up here this way. But if you can, that is faster than wall jumping by a fair bit. So that's the way otherwise. So whichever you choose to do out of those is pretty fine, as long as like choosing the proper one, depending on what you're trying to optimize. It's sort of undecided right now if in-game time or real time is the most important for this category, but this is really the only place where it makes a difference, like route or strat wise. The only thing it really changes otherwise is pause buffering. So it's sort of in flux right now, where like most people still use in-game time, but RTA is starting gaining ground, so we're not quite sure where things are going. So it's good. I think it's good to show both stats anyway. But regardless of either of those, there is a faster strat that beats both of those for both RTA and in-game time. Which, if you can do it, you should be doing it. And we refer to this as fast searchlights, and it looks sort of like this. Or you just run underneath that searchlight. It looks really wonky. If you understand, like if you just look at the searchlights as huge boxes, because they're really not. It's sort of weird. It's not going to help that these are blinking, so I can't really show it off. But what you're going to do, I'll actually do this. We used to think you had to do this to get up there. I'll show this to have a bigger window to demonstrate. So if you get up here, if I start running right now, so if I start holding right immediately, I'll run into the searchlight. So this is too early. You have to wait until the searchlight. The cue, there are two different cues you can use. The cue I use is the ceiling. So once the top edge of the searchlight reaches like this half block, this like white part of the ceiling, so sort of about now, you can start running. So I'll start holding right now and unpause, and that's fine. If you go a bit too early, like this is a bit too early. If I start running now, it'll catch me. That might be fine. It's hard to tell. No, that's still too early. So you're trying to find when this searchlight hits this part of the screen. You can also look at Samus's gun if you want to. Like the searchlight is just above Sam, like the barrel of her gun. That's also a proper visual cue. Getting in here is actually a pretty large window. It's a window of about 10 frames. So you don't have to be that precise. It's just that the timing is like really weird. It's really weird to get a good timing without strong visual cues. But actually getting in here is not that hard. Like this is still good. This should still be good, I think. It's barely too slow. Let's see, I can actually find this. I think that should be good. Yeah, so I mean, the window is pretty big. So anytime the searchlight is between here and pretty much here, like anytime between there is good to run. The hard part about this is not the actual running past the searchlight, it's getting up there fast enough. You don't have a lot of time. If you're doing this strat, you have a decent amount of time, but it's a bit risky because, like I said, doing these jumps are really precise, so it's easy to fail. But then you have a lot of time to actually find the timing. Keep in mind that it might not look like I'm pressing right when I do. This is because I am crouching. Crouching here is actually really important. It keeps your hitbox below the searchlight for longer, so you can start running earlier. But it changes the visual cue because if you stand up manually, you should start running right away. But if you don't, it takes a couple of frames. Like I said earlier, 5 or 6 frames from when you press right until she starts running. So even though it looks like I'm starting running later than I say I am, I'm pressing right during about this time. So let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it takes 8 frames for her to stand up. I was holding right that entire time. So if you're standing up, you're gonna have to like delay your visual cue or whatever. But crouching is recommended. Anyway, if you want to wall jump here, which is way easier than doing these weird platform jumps, you don't have that much time. You have like a second of leeway pretty much before the searchlight is in the correct position, so you have to do this fairly quickly. So jump, 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 wall jump, shoot in the air, and as soon as you land, crouch. And this sort of has to be muscle memory, because now I'm too late, I think. Yeah, I'm too late. This sort of has to be memory, because muscle memory, because while you're doing this, you have to keep an eye on where the searchlight is for your timing. Oh crap, I get bad position. You want to try to be as far to the left as possible on this platform. So to get through, there's not a lot of time, but I mean, this trick seems really hard and complicated, but it's actually very consistent. I get this almost every run. I mean, I don't know what that says, considering who's talking, but I mean, it's consistent enough to actually get a lot. The actual timing, like I said, the actual timing for running is about 10 frames, which is in context, that is a huge window. That window is enormous. That is not hard to hit. The hard part is having good enough movement to get up here in time. Screw it up. I mean, it's just a trick. You can learn, you can not. It's a couple of seconds. It's like, I think it's 2 or 3 seconds faster than the other strats. Somewhere around there. I think it was 2, but I'm not completely sure now. So it's something to learn. If you fail your movement, Like if you're like, oh crap, well, not that much. But if you're like, oh crap, I've missed the wall jump, you can just revert to waiting without losing any time. Like it's just as fast as waiting would have been anyway, so you're pretty much just doing the waiting strat. And if you fail it really late, you can also, like if you fail this jump and like, oh crap, you can just get down and get up here again, and that's still as fast as waiting would have been. So it's not really that risky as long as your movement is pretty consistent. As long as you feel that you can get this part of the trick well, which takes a bit of practice, but it's very consistent once you know the cues. But like I said, the movement, like having fast enough movement to get up there in time is the hard part, and failing that doesn't actually cost you any time. Like failing that is whatever, you can just get up here anyway. It doesn't cost you anything to fail the movement. It's a bit scary to do them. In the case that you're caught, you kind of want to. I can't even fail it. I can't even fail on purpose. There we go. So in case that you're caught, you kind of want to do a special thing to get around this faster. You can just keep going here like normal, and get down here and wait. That's viable. It's a bit of a waste of time. It's gonna take a while, and then wait for him to get back up. That should cost like 7 seconds, I guess. So the strat already being 2 seconds faster, it'll be like 5 seconds slower or something in the end than just waiting, or doing the reset strat would have been from the start if you get caught. But you can speed this up a bit by freezing this pirate and then waiting here, freeze him again, jump up here, wait until he's on screen, and then start running. That cuts out this time by I think 3-ish seconds. I think it's 3 seconds. So this ends up just being about 2 seconds slower than one of the safer strats would be. Which is like, risk-wise, that's not that big of a deal. Saving 2 seconds for potentially losing 2 seconds, it's whatever. But this strat is the strat to turn off the alarm quickly is pretty. You have to hit this fast. You have to hit this. You can't really start climbing the wall on the right here. Like turn around, shooting, whatever. You can't. If you wait too long, I think he saw me. I think that was too slow. No, it wasn't. Okay. It's pretty tight though. Like you can't just wait. He totally saw me there. Yeah, he totally saw me. So you have to like be ready that he is going to jump. Keep in mind you have to freeze him. He is going to jump up this wall. Be ready for that and like just shoot way early. And you're good. Like all of this takes a bit of practice, but it's pretty consistent. Oops. You should just be able to do this anyway. It's like, it sounds hard, it sounds scary and difficult, but it's not that bad, really. But whatever, like again, things working are of utmost importance. If you can't do it, then don't really try in the important runs. Like maybe try learning, maybe don't. It's whatever feels right for you. This room is a bit weird. What we usually do is wall jump up here, jump, and get in here. That's consistent, it's safe, it's pretty fast, it's like the best thing to do pretty much. You can do jumping stands on these jumps if you feel like you're going to miss them. Like if you feel like you jump too early, if you jump too early, you might like fall down here or whatever. You might miss this and land on this part, which is sort of bad-ish. It's not too horrible. Like you can, if you're good, if you react quickly enough, you can land. You can land on that tripwire. I'll try to get this once. You can land there without triggering the tripwire. It's a bit harder and completely pointless. I'll try one more time, but it's possible. It's never useful except if like whatever. It's possible though. If you do manage to hit that tripwire, just wait here for a second and then jump over the pirates. They won't catch you. Nothing here is like, the pirates aren't going to get you through the rest of the rooms unless you're clumsy and fall down. So just keep running. Maybe freeze the pirate in that last room. It's a problem. If you fall down here, wait for a second. Wait for them to jump down and then do the same thing. Just allow them to get away from the door before you start running. Like that's the main point. I feel I should mention this still. It is in theory faster to go down here, but it is hard. Like I think this route is the fastest in theory, but it's hard to make this be faster. It's about, I think it's like 10 frames faster ultimately. But there's more to optimize. These jumps are harder to make. There's a pirate at the end that if you don't shoot him correctly, you're gonna waste a lot of time. If you miss that jump, you're gonna lose a lot of time. Like you want to, if you feel you want to like squeeze everything out of this game, this might be something you want to try, but it's hard. It's not too hard, but it's, I don't know. It's a bit unnecessarily hard. It's still fairly consistent, assuming you can do the jumps properly and stuff. So there's nothing exceptionally hard about this. It's just shooting this pirate is the most annoying part. It's like not even that bad. But the safest route, most people use this route through the room, is just going up here. Maybe jump extend, maybe jump extend. Go in here. Alarm or not, this room is the same. Jump up here. Alarm or not, this room is the same. If the alarm is running, you might want to freeze the pirate going through the door, but it's not necessary if you can do this right. You can just jump here. If you do this perfectly, you won't get spotted. At least not even perfectly, but if you do that jump well, the pirate won't see you. It's a bit hard to do though. It's a bit hard to do, and it doesn't help at all. At this point, the alarm is pointless. It doesn't do anything. It's going to shut off in the next room automatically anyway. So getting caught there does nothing. It doesn't affect you in any way. But this is what you want to do if, even if the alarm's running, just jump up here. Assuming you don't miss a wall jump, the pirates can't catch you. So just do that. Shoot down here to hit this block, and then just run to the right. Yeah. I want to get this jump. I want to get this jump. I want to not get caught here. There we go. That's just me being stupid. Fall down here, nothing important, just like woo, do whatever you want. Run to the left. Nothing terribly interesting here either. Shoot this door. This is where Roger comes in. We have silly names for things because we're bored. That pirate, if you just hold left, he won't see you. But you can shoot him, and he will scream, and it is very funny and hilarious, and everyone does it because it's funny. He is called Roger. He comes back later on to be also known as the hero pirate at the end. But these are just like inside jokes in the community. Hitting him does nothing, it doesn't trigger the alarm, it doesn't save time in any way, it's just fun. If you decide to be boring, you can not shoot him if you want to. Then start spinning to save frames. Just keep holding left. There's nothing interesting here. In this room, as soon as you like hold L while crawling, as soon as you enter crouch, you can shoot this thing. Like you can keep holding left this entire time. This is one of the spots I decide, I like prefer not to crouch cancel because it doesn't really help that much. Because I can just hold left. As soon as she enters crouch, shoot, and then she like start running automatically anyways. It doesn't really help that much to crouch cancel. We'll jump up here, shoot these things, shoot this thing. Again, remember that you can shoot as soon as you start crouching. This is where it's more useful. Like as soon as you start doing the animation to crouch for crawling, you can shoot without losing time anywhere. Run. And this is interesting. This room though, I mean, it's technically not a thing. All you want to do is wall jump up along this right wall. But this room is like terrifying for, I mean I have issues with this room for no particular reason. Some wall jumps are just hard. Like I fail this more than I'd like to admit. And if you fail one of these wall jumps, reset the room. Resetting the room and just trying again is the fastest way. Don't try to like go around the searchlights or whatever. Like if you fall, don't try to get up the right wall again or whatever. It's gonna end badly. Just reset the room and try again. You don't have to do these wall jumps very quickly. You have like a fair amount of leeway to get up here. So don't stress it too much. Falling down is way worse. Like if you fall down up here, you are very likely to get caught. It's horrible. So just take this safe and get up here. Spin here to save frames. Don't grab anything, keep running. Shoot these blocks. Going up here, you can do pretty much whatever you want. You can do 2 ledge grabs, or you can do ledge hops, or you can do wall jumps, all of these or whatever. There is a very fancy jump you can do here. It's really hard and hardly saves. It saves maybe 4 frames over optimally doing the room otherwise. So I would not recommend trying this jump unless you're specifically trying to be fancy, or if you're really sure you can make this. It's a hard. I keep getting it every time now for some reason, but it's a hard jump. Trust me. You can try this if you want. It is the fastest way through the room, but it's a very tiny amount faster. So if you're having trouble doing this jump, don't do it. You're gonna lose way more time than you're saving most of the time. See, now I can't get it anymore. It's a very tight jump. Just like I most of the time I just ledge grab up here. If you want to save, like be super optimal, you can shoot away these 2 blocks to gain a little bit of time. Otherwise, like just go over here and again wall jump or ledge hop or ledge grab, whatever you want up here. And if you're trying to save time, you can shoot this and ledge grab there. It's a bit hard to hit these blocks though. So if you're missing things, you're going to miss a jump and be horrible. So I'd rather don't. Again, it saves frames. Do it, don't do it, whatever. This room is just wall jump up the left wall. This room, however, is very interesting. I'll show this normally first. So if you're not, we have a thing called SAM strat and or stealth strat and or a bunch of other things in this room specifically that lets us lose the alarm in this room, which saves time later on. But I'll show that later. First of all, I'll show how to do this room normally. The way normally is to just run, get up on this platform, shoot this block, try to shoot these blocks at the same time. So like shoot, because you have to stop to shoot anyway, and once you're standing still, it costs less time to shoot while standing still than it does while moving. So try to shoot the knife to beam, and then just fall down here. This is where the alarm keeps running. If you do the so-called self strat, the alarm will be off here. I'll show that off later. But just for the sake of it, just keep running, shoot everything, shoot this thing, wall jump up here. If you want to be fancy, you can ledge hop this. It's like whatever. It sort of saves time, I guess. It's a few frames. Or just jump, shoot this thing, get in here. Again, ledge grab, ledge hop, or wall jump, whatever you want, it's the same. Get in here, go, and this is where it gets interesting, because we could wait here until the alarm shuts off, but in the interest of time, we want to enter this save room. I talked earlier about entering certain rooms, shutting off the alarm automatically. This save room is one of them. So to save time, we go in here and immediately out to open this gate. This is the time we're saving by shutting off the alarm previously. But this is the easier, like less, I guess more consistent ways. Like stealth strat is pretty consistent, but it takes a bit of practice to start getting it consistent. It's super awkward to get working before you know what's happening. So until you can do stealth strat consistently, if you have the alarm running, just run into the save room and out again, and this will be open. That's the fastest way to get through here. Now for this room, this is way more specific than it looks. You want to do a series of very specific inputs to turn this alarm off. The main thing here is this pirate. We don't want him to see us. Like I said earlier, pirates can see behind them, but they cannot see while turning around. I mean, that was me timing that, but they can see while turning around. This is very important. So what we want to do is, as soon as we enter the room, fall down here, and while you're falling, turn around and freeze the pirate behind you. If you turn around as late as possible, you're gonna hit him. It's whatever. Then jump up on this. If you time a good jump, you can jump over this from the ground. You don't want to do that though. You can jump over like that. You don't want to do that though. That just makes things much harder later on. So shoot him. Get up on this platform or on this pillar, jump down, hit this during a crouching animation, which is, it's not hard. And then you want to either do 2 shots right next to each other. That's not good. Like that, maybe. Yeah, that was good. So you want to either do that. I think at this position is the best. There are various positions you can do this to get that to work, but that's the position I wouldn't do it too close here. I don't think it works to do it here. Oh, it still does. Okay, does it work here? I mean, I think if you do that fast enough, it's gonna work. The important part is in the beginning, where we want to jump up on this pillar to waste time. We want to do this in a very specific order. And then we want to not crouch cancel. I'm pretty sure, maybe crouch cancel works. I thought I knew this. This shouldn't work. Still works. Wow. Okay, I'm getting way more. I thought it was way more precise. It seems more precise when I'm trying to figure out a way to do this. The major point is we want the alarm to turn off before we reach this crumble block. Like, the main point is we want the alarm to turn off about now. See how it turned off? I think it turned off. And look at this pirate reaching this wall. The pirates, like I said earlier, are completely deterministic if the alarm is running. So this pirate reaches this wall at this time every time, and he starts turning around right when you get here. Oh, is he too far away? No, that's turning around. I may have misunderstood this trick completely. I was pretty sure this is because of him turning around. See, there it didn't work. So I'm making this seem really easy, but it's really not. It's super awkward. But I guess he's just too far to the left to see you. That makes no sense. Because like if you do this, he'll see you. So I mean, I don't know. This trick is weird. Okay, we don't completely understand how this works. But yeah, so either you can shoot somewhere around on this left part. You want to shoot them almost at the same time, and then jump down. Or you can shoot them really far apart. So I use the visual cue of Samus's head being up below this block. So here I shoot, and then over here I shoot when her entire body is below these two blocks. This works for me every time. Everything else I've tried have been like very inconsistent, and depending on what speed you do the rest of the room in and a bunch of other factors, but these always seem to work for me. Shooting there and there, and then not crouch cancelling, running to the left. As soon as you start falling, you start spinning and release all directions so you don't grab anything. And that's always seemed to work for me. I don't know if there's I'm sure there are plenty of configurations that would work, but that's the one I've found to be very consistent, almost 100% consistent. The point with being very specific in your timing in this area is that these pirates below can see through around here. They can see through these crumbling blocks, like the crumble blocks. So they're seeing right here about me. They're like barely not seeing Samus. And it's especially important when you stand up here that no pirate is at this position looking up at her. Like, that's the part I took the most to understand, that these pirates will see Samus if she's too fast. So the problem we had when trying to figuring this out is that we were moving too quickly. So like I said, we can do this full jump. I can probably like hit both of these, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get spotted here. Yeah, that didn't work because we're too fast. So you have to slow down. The easiest way I found to do this is to land on this, make sure you do like a normal jump, land on this thing, and then spread these two shots out. So shot. That puts you at the correct speed every time. It's all about the timing. So, like I said, there should be a million, like a lot of different like ways to do that rune that should work. But this is the one I found, and I found it to be very consistent. So again, run in, turn around, shoot the pirate. Shoot the pirate, jump up. Like almost immediately when you land, jump up on this thing. Shoot there, hold left, just hold left, don't do anything else. Press A. That should get it every time. So if this works for you, do it. It doesn't save a lot of time. It saves like maybe a second. It saves more real time than it does in-game time. It saves closer to like half a second of in-game time to not have to go into that save room. But if you can do this, sure. If you can't, like even if you try and fail, it's not that big of a deal. It doesn't take a lot of time to attempt. The only real time waster you're doing is like you're moving slightly slow through this room. You're specifically not doing this jump. This is like the only time you're wasting. You're instead going down here. So it's like half a second to a second of time lost by failing it. Yeah. Turn around, shoot, jump up on this thing, shoot this block, shoot here, hold left. Press A. Works every time. If you can't do it, you can't do it, but you should try because it's actually fairly consistent. These things work exactly the same. Nothing changed. There's just the music's calmer. There's no pirate chasing you. That pirate wasn't getting close to you anyway. This changes a tiny bit. Since we don't want to get into the save room anymore, we can do this room a bit more optimally. We can do 2 wall jumps into power grip here. Appears to be the best way. And then either a ledge shot or a ledge grab. It's whatever you feel like doing. In this room, you want to land as few times as possible. So you want to jump over, try to jump over its head and land on this thing. And I guess you can just run. I thought you had to jump here. I try to not jump it. Try to not jump immediately, I guess. Keep running, wall jump off this thing or ledge hop off this thing. We don't want a ledge grab here because we want to land as close to this tunnel as possible. Again, like I said in the start of this segment, to avoid doing like very short running periods that waste frames. So either wall jump or ledge hop as far as possible. Get up here however you want, it's not important. You cannot catch this pirate. This pirate is not technically even there. It's just a moving sprite. He's not physically there, like you can't shoot him, you can't touch him, it doesn't damage you, whatever, he's not there. So don't even bother. In this room, you want to try and make this jump. If you don't, it's not the biggest of deals. It does make the rest of the room a bit annoying. But you want to try and make this jump, like so. You can fall down and jump, that's not a big deal. You can jump and like accidentally grab this. I'm trying to fail the jump now. You can grab this thing. It's not a super big deal. It's a bit slower and that's a problem later on, but again, try to make this jump. And fall down, fall down. Come on. Fall down, get in here, keep holding right, blah 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 blah. This is the part that gets a bit trickier if you didn't do the rest of the room optimally, because this eye is going to be farther off the wall. So when you do this wall jump, see how the eye shoots me, like just below me? Or straight in my ass. God damn, I can't even... See what, like that shot is right below where I was. If you're a bit slow through the start of this room, like say I do... Oh crap, I think that's too slow. So he's gonna hit you, that's the problem. So if you're too slow at the start of the room, like something like that, you could opt out of jumping. You could wait until he shoots before you jump. So wait a tiny bit until you start jumping, so he doesn't shoot you. Handling this pirate can be done in a couple of ways. You can either do this, which is sort of hard, where you like grab the ledge just below where he is, and he'll jump out above you, like so. You can wall jump like below him, just sit here wall jumping. Like do an extra wall jump to give him time to jump over there. You can ledge grab this thing and wait for him to jump over there and then ledge hop up there. The fastest way I find though, which I found fairly recently, is to shoot straight up, almost as soon as you grab that ledge. Not quite as soon as you grab the ledge, but almost. Like wait a fraction of a second and then shoot. And then as soon as you've shot the shot, jump up here, like immediately. This is the fastest by like 10 frames ish. If you're low on health, you might want to like not risk anything and just wait a bit extra long. This is the most common place to die if you do not refill. This pirate is the most commonly, like the most common pirate to hit you. So if you're not refilling, you might want to take it slow until you're comfortable doing this shot, or until you're comfortable doing this wall jump to ledge grab is kind of tight too. If you jump even the tiniest bit too high, it's gonna hit you. So it's pretty precise. Like that hits you. You have to barely reach that ledge. Whatever. I don't usually do this, I'm not too good at it. But this is the fastest. Shooting me like that is the fastest way. This room we just run right. There's a lot of pirates and things hunting you, so it's a bit scary, but it's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be scared of. Don't crawl in here, this is bad, you're going to die. What you want to do is freeze him. You can do this while running. As soon as you hit about here, like you run a block on like after the slope, you can shoot and it'll hit him every time. It is not a hard shot. So pretty much as soon as you reach flat ground, you can hit him. You can hit him. Oh crap! You can hit him like I think here. There's as soon as flat ground. You can hit him. Keep in mind though that you don't want to jump too early if you're shooting too early, because it might miss. So either shoot right before you jump, pretty much. Very good. If you make this jump perfectly, I'll see. I don't think I can do that like on command. If you make that jump perfectly, this guy will not stop. So if you make this jump perfectly, that guy will just jump at you, which is a problem that like ruins it. That might be it. We'll see. No, that still wasn't it. I'll see if I can do this. I'll do a bit of tool assisting for you guys. I just want to show this off, so I should have had a save state for this, I'm sorry. Yeah, sounds. No, too hard. That should be it. Yeah. So if you do that jump pretty much frame perfectly, he is going to jump at you. Keep that in mind when you do this room. The usual strat is to shoot this guy, then jump down, and then shoot this guy right at the end. If he jumps at you, you don't have time for that, which makes it really dangerous. I'm pretty sure it only happens if you do that jump frame perfect. So you might just want to do a full jump. Like, don't try to optimize that jump at all. It's a bit risky. If you do a full jump, it'll never happen. Just something to keep in mind, so you don't try to optimize this too much. You barely have time for this second shot as it is. Like you can either just know when it's gonna to recharge and like just shoot right before jumping. Just like jump late and just shoot right before jumping. This music is really annoying right now. Or you can look at the charge. So if you look at the charge, I'm gonna do this in frame advance. If you look at the charge, it's not full right now. Interesting. If I shoot right now, it's gonna be a small shot. But it's full a few frames later than that. So it's like here around it's full. So like it has to blink like once or twice before it's full. So if you look at the charge, you should be able to accurately tell when it's full. And as soon as it's full, you just like shoot and jump. Shoot and do a tiny jump right away. Or you can wait until you hit this thing and do it then if you want to be safe. Either way, just keep on running. There's a lot of pirates, no one can hit you if you keep running. You want to try and jump and grab this thing. It's sort of hard though. It's not the easiest jump. So if you fall down, it's not a big deal. If you miss it, it's just jump up here instead. But you want to try and grab the ledge and then ledge up, wall jump up here. Or ledge grab and one wall jump. Either of those are practically the same. Again, if you miss this jump, it happens. So just remain calm, jump up here. Be prepared that you might miss, and don't panic. Panicking might get you killed by this pirate. You have enough time. You cannot do anything here. Just hold left. You can't even do anything funny like shooting patterns or jumping patterns or whatever. You just have to hold left continuously. You can crouch cancel there if you want to. It's not necessary for anything. You can just hold left and you'll be fine. Getting up here, you can either do that. More seriously, you can either wall jump up on this thing and jump, jump, jump. Or you can ledge grab up on this thing and jump, jump, jump. Or you can run all the way to the left and wall jump up here. All of these, like, they're pretty much equal. There's not a lot of difference between them, so do whatever works. This might seem scary a few times. If you like jump through the door, it's a bit close. I think if you land, like you can get hit there, but it's really, really rare. You don't really have to bother caring about it. It's possible that like certain subpixels, that might be it, but I'm not sure. No. So I mean, it's I can't even make it happen when I'm trying to. As long as you don't stop. If you stop, you're gonna get hit. But if you're holding left through this door, maybe doing a full jump. No. See, I can't even make it happen. So don't be afraid of that pirate. He stops there to shoot anyway. Something to keep in mind is to don't shoot up here. I think, no, what was I did something really bad once. I think don't jump. I think don't jump here. I don't know these specifics. Like you can make that pirate shoot diagonally upwards, and if you do, it is horrible. If he shoots diagonally upwards, he will shoot. I want to get up there to show people. Well, you'll see. If he shoots diagonally upwards, he'll shoot a bridge, which you desperately need. As long as you're just running left here, nothing will catch you ever. So just hold left, don't worry. This, however, is a bit tricky. If you can't make it up here consistently, you might die. So you might not even want to attempt wall jumping and things. Just jump up here normally, like so, if you want to. The fastest way is to just wall jump on this right side. But failing one of these wall jumps, like oops, you're stuck here and it's horrible and you can't get out and everyone dies and it's really scary. So be prepared that it's dangerous. But it's still just a standard wall jump. There's nothing tricky about it except that you can't fail. You kind of want to make this a lot of small jumps instead of a lot of... If you just make big jumps, you're not going to make it up there. Like it's going to be really awkward. So you want to make sort of medium-sized ones instead to make it up here more cleanly. And again, shoot while she's starting to crawl. If you're too slow here, the pirates will still be chasing you and the alarm will still be going. If that is the case, just shoot the floor. You can jump over this and shoot the floor if you want to. And the pirates will fall down and this gate will eventually open. I can try to be a bit slow just to demonstrate. I can still be chasing you and you can just jump over and shoot the floor. And wait here for a second, like probably 8-7 seconds, and the gate opens. Preferably, you want to be fast enough here that the that you shake the pirates though, to save time. Try to make a full jump here to land on this crumble block. You don't want to make like a tiny jump and then run over here. It costs a bit of time. Like it costs frames, but it does cost time. So make a full jump. Run over here. If you really want to save, you can save. It's not recommended. You don't need to save ever. If you really want to refill because you've taken damage and you're scared, feel free to do that. You shouldn't need it though. Getting up here, the fastest way is to wall jump up here. Wall jump, wall jump, wall jump. Getting up here. The fastest, and then keep running into the Chozo Ghost fight, or as he is more popularly known as Charlie. I can't even do these jumps anymore. Come on, there you go. Popularly known as Charlie, but he's the Chozo Trial, the Chozo Ghost, the stupid ball guy. This boss is really dumb. I dislike this boss greatly. In all manners of the word. So I'm gonna refer to him as Charlie because that's how we talk about him. Charlie is completely random. Pretty much, there's a few tiny things you can do. But he is mostly random. He will just sit there at the start. You have to wait until that was pretty fast. Oops. So you just have to sit and wait until the glyph appears. The glyph can only be hurt by a full charge beam, so don't like shoot like crazy and while waiting you have to hit him. Oh crap. Don't hit yourself either. Like a normal beam would work. It has to be fully charged. So don't like spam shots. Wait for your moment, react, shoot him. Then he will start moving. In this phase, if you're standing still, he will shoot you with lightning. It is specifically if you're standing still. So there are ways to abuse that. There are ways to abuse that he's shooting lightning, because every time he shoots lightning, he stops. Wow, he is sniping me. Like every time he shoots lightning, he stops moving, so you can use that to like keep track of where he is. And make sort of like make him kind of move in slow motion if you're having trouble with his movement. but generally most people try to like stay moving. You can move either horizontally or vertically. Just jumping in place will make him not shoot lightning at you. If you stand still period he will, but if you can just jump in place, then he won't shoot you. But anyway, he'll be moving in a circle. So I just stand there jumping. Try to always aim at him at all times. Expect him to turn into a glyph. Like it can happen at any time. And move like I try to move in like short steps. To not move my position too much, except when I'm running under him. And every time you hit him, he'll start moving faster, and he'll start shooting lightning faster. He'll start moving in more complicated patterns. Like now, he'll start moving in like 4 circles instead of 1. Hitting 1 more, and he'll start moving quickly. I think he has another lightning attack. I'm not sure if he can do it yet, or if he can only do that in the last phase where he's moving faster. He can do a second lightning attack now. This happens regardless of you moving or not, and it also sends lightning along the walls. This still doesn't happen with the normal lightning. So even in this last phase, normal lightning does the same thing. But it has a different lightning that always hits the center. It always hits the center and it moves along the walls. So keep that in mind. If you know that you're moving every time, you can easily differentiate and tell that, oh, that's lightning I have to dodge, and be ready to jump. Once it hits the ground, jump and try to land in the middle of the room. The biggest problem with this attack is that Charlie stops moving when he does it. So if it happens when you're not prepared, you can like misjudge a shot, which is horrible. But the best advice I can give to this is that always assume that he is going to turn into a glyph right now, and aim where he would be. Like aim so that if you shoot right now, you'll hit him. And then as soon as it turns into a glyph, you can just press shoot. You don't have to like aim after he... It's taking a sweet time. You don't have to aim after he turns into a glyph. I used to have so much issues with this fight, and some people still do. Some people used to have, and they don't anymore. This fight is hard. This music is annoying, so I'll mute the I'll pause the game while I'm talking. This boss fight is hard. It takes a lot of your reactions. It takes a lot of... It's really stressful if you... Especially if you never refilled, in 90% if you're low on health. If you never took the refill, you're 2 hits away from dying. He does 50 damage with any hit he has. So dying is a very real possibility if you don't have a lot of health. And you have to react pretty quickly for the last shot. At the same time, a lot of lightning is happening everywhere, and stuff is so annoying. And aside from the fact that he's fairly difficult, unless you know what you're doing, he is also like I said, completely random. Everything, like his movement is static. I don't have to show the first one. His movement here is completely static. He moves the same way every time. The normal lightning can be avoided by just moving around, and this movement is still static, like nothing interesting. Okay. The lightning in the final round though is completely random. It sometimes happens, it sometimes doesn't happen. It's completely on a timer. You can't predict it in any manner, any meaningful manner. And most importantly, the time it takes for him to turn into a glyph is completely random. There is no way to know when it's going to happen. There is no way to predict when it's going to happen. There's no way. If he decides to take a long time between him making glyphs, you're going to lose time. And this is a big chunk of RNG in the run. This can vary seconds. I think worst case Charlie fight compared to best case Charlie fight is like a 15-second difference or something like that. It's pretty big. He can decide to be a complete ass when he wants to show a glyph and when he doesn't want to. But there is one thing you can do to speed this process up. It's hard to tell, make it noticeable, but I'll see if this makes more sense. You can shoot yourself. If you shoot yourself, you'll get on average, faster timer. Like, I'll try to explain this. Whenever he has to spawn another glyph, a timer is randomly generated until like how much time is left before the glyph shows up. This is generated when he takes damage, when you hit a glyph. It is also generated when you take damage, like when you shoot yourself. This generates a new time. This time is almost always shorter than the time if you hit the glyph. So the timer from hitting yourself is usually like almost always shorter than the glyph timer on average. But these are ranges, so this could be like you could be giving yourself a longer timer. There's no way for you to know without looking at memory somehow. And then even then just testing things. Like it could be worse than you, but it's a pretty big chance it will make it faster. The problem is this takes 50 damage. You don't have that much health. Okay, I'm horrible. This, by the way, this timer doesn't start counting down until he starts moving here. So like the fact that you hit him really late doesn't change anything. This is still faster to do on like in general. See how fast that was? Like because I have save states, I can check now. Like when would he show himself if I didn't do anything? It's about there, like half a block, like half a lap. If I shoot myself, it'll be up here somewhere. It's like, you see how much faster that is? It's like a second. And that pretty much happens all the time. If you let the glyph run out, I think that's the same timer as if you get hit. It's just a longer timer when you actually hit the glyph compared to all other timers. So like there's nothing more interesting than that. But yeah, so hitting yourself after hitting the glyph does speed up the fight. Again, the problem is this takes 50 damage. Oh, that was slow either way. This takes 50 damage, and if you didn't take the refill at the start of Suitless, you don't have enough health to do this 3 times. Also keep in mind that shooting yourself on the first glyph is not does not help you. It's not useful at all. This has a quote-unquote shorter timer than hitting a glyph does. So shooting yourself right away is not useful. Also keep in mind that if you're standing like this, the timer doesn't run. You cannot press up or down or shoot or jump to get out of this, you have to press right or left. So just like hold left or right before the fight starts and then start holding up or whatever. Something to keep in mind. Like the timer does not run here, I can speed up the emulator so you can see that this never turns into a glyph. So just start moving right away. But yeah, if you didn't take the refill, let's see if I can emulate. So this is your health if you didn't take a refill. You're at 99. You can't do this twice. If I hit myself and then get this and then hit myself again, I die. So if I didn't take a refill, I can only do this once. And even if I do it once, it's super risky because then I'm 1 hit away from death. So if you didn't take the refill, you might not want to do this at all. If you decide to do it, you should do it on the latest glyph for several reasons. One being that it's the toughest one to hit. But if you miss yourself like that, it's not worth it anymore. Like if you miss, if you use it on the final glyph, you'll have less of the fight left, so there's less mistakes for you to make, which will cause you to die. And it is also the hardest glyph to make, so having a shorter timer makes it easier, because you don't have to care about the other type of lightning as much, but you might have to animate it. Like, this fight is dangerous. It is very it's a very valid strategy to not take the damage boost hit if you don't have enough health to survive another hit. The fight is scary, but it does speed things up. If you want to be really fast about it, this is what you should be doing. This is also why taking the refill at the start is not as bad as a full refill, because you're able to save like 2 seconds on this fight, pretty much, by damage boosting. I hate this fight. I hate this fight so much. See how he stopped? He would have run into that if he didn't stop. This fight is stupid. I hate this fight. But yeah, so that's about what you can do against this boss. Also worth to note, let me do this properly. Also worth to note is the Charlie glitch. It's not like a big deal, but we do it all the time anyway. Please? Oh my god. That was so slow. He can be such a jerk face sometimes. Please, Charlie. Wow, Charlie's an asshole. So once the fight is done, you want to stand right over here in the middle and get into this cutscene where she faces herself and she like turns into the suit or whatever. If you stand all the way over here, that cutscene is never going to trigger. Like, it doesn't trigger until you move over there, so you want to move over there. But a thing you can do is that if you're standing here and you press, I should be able to get this. So we have save state, I should be able to get this. If you press left or right on the correct frame, I did there, you'll be able to move around while the cutscene is playing. This is a very tiny thing, but it's fun. You can just sit there and match left, right. It's I think it's almost frame perfect. It's like a 2-frame window or whatever, but it's really hard to know when it's happening. So if you do, if you shoot a bunch, then after the cutscene is finished, there will be like garbled plasma sprites. Like, the shots change into a plasma shot, but the sprite for it, like, it screws up. Like, it's it's just fun. But yeah, so like, if oops, don't mash so you accidentally load a save state. You can just mash left, right. If you don't get it, then it's whatever. It doesn't save any time. But if you do get it, you get to play around with it. It might explain why. Make sure to actually stand in the center. If you move too much to the sides, you're going to not activate the cutscene. It'll explain what Charlie glitch is if you're watching a speedrun. It'll also explain why people are standing there turning left and right every time. I'm not varying this up. Small thing, the dialogues in this specific like item explanation cutscene cannot be advanced by pressing B. It's the only one in the game that can't be advanced by pressing B. Others can. Or like, the last one. Like in other, it's only relevant for the last one. But this one, this in other item cutscenes, I should be able to press B, but this one I can't for some reason. I'm not sure why. Just keep that in mind. So you have to hold A, release press, hold, release press, release press on all of these. But that is Suitless for you. We are almost at the finish line. We only have one more segment, which is the final stretch of you having full suit, and since this is 100% almost no upgrades to get through the pirate mothership. And we will cover that next video, so stay tuned. I'll just set up a good save state for this. Yeah, so this is good. So yeah, so next video will be the final video covering Show Zodia and the pirate mothership, final boss and final escape. So see you then.